Good morning, guys. Well, I'm following up with where we left off in class on Monday. Um, we had to cut the content short just because since we had last week off, I needed to just recalibrate some things, set some expectations as we're moving forward. So we didn't get to the writing assignment that was set for class. So here it is right here. This is based on Kate Chopin's story of an hour, the story we read last week. What's the primary theme you can identify in this story? Where is this theme clearly illustrated for you? So you need to go into the text and pull directly from the text. Let me know where you're pulling from with a page number and a paragraph number. And then I want you to reflect on your life. When has this theme taken place for you or someone you know? Okay. So there are 3 prompts that you have to tackle. And the length on this assignment, I'm saying in between 1 to 2 pages. Okay. As a matter of fact, each one of these prompts, there are 3 of them, could represent 1 paragraph at the least. So what primary theme can you identify in the story? Go back over it. What is the universal truth? The endearing understanding? What do you think Chopin wanted the reader to walk away from the story with? Where is this theme clearly illustrated for you? Find an example in the actual text that proves this theme for you. And then reflect on your life. When has this theme taken place for you or someone you know? All right, get that written up in Microsoft Word and then upload it in the in-class writing section in the week 4 folder. It'll be clearly marked. Don't forget your discussion questions that you and your partners came up with. Whoever the reporter was, they need to upload those no later than Sunday so you can get credit for it. Now, we're moving into our new story as well, The Yellow Wallpaper. This was written by Charlotte Perkins Gilman in 1892. It is regarded as an early feminist literature work. You can revisit our handout on literary criticism and theory that breaks down what exactly makes something feminist. Mrs. Gilman, she has a strong connection with Chopin in the sense that she believed in women's liberation, but where Chopin was more on a individual scale, believing that it was each woman's responsibility to fight for her own independence. Gilman had more of a systemic view of feminism and how to propagate that and how to fight against gender inequality. She wanted it to take on the systems of America, and she took on the medical establishment. And you will get more information about that as you're reading not just The Yellow Wallpaper, the fictional story, but also the nonfiction commentaries that go along with it. And I have outlined those for you for the home practice, and I'll go over those in a second. So as you are digging into The Yellow Wallpaper, make sure you have your pen or pencil in hand so that you can do some deep active reading. This is a tale of psychological I would say, not really horror, but it's more of a psychological thriller. Okay, there will be some fantastical elements that will lend itself to a horror story. I would say push past that initial read and go deeper there. This is not a supernatural tale, but is one of psychological sort of manipulation and warfare. The main character is definitely having some thoughts on what it means to be a woman and what it means to be free, and this is manifested in The Yellow Wallpaper. So I suggest you do an active read where you are logging in your thoughts, and then you go back and you read it again. Okay, so at least 2 reads on this one because it is very deep, it is very complex. And if you're not slowing yourself down and really digging into it, you may get a little confused. So 2 reads on this one. And then after you're done, analyze your thinking. Look over those annotations and really start to analyze, well, what was there? What is my understanding? What do I know? What do I want to discover more about? And then actually do a quick writing of your impressions, so that when we come back together on Monday, we could just hit the ground running, because we're going to have to dig into this one. But think about this, the story of an hour and the plot of that story. Now, if we were to add a darker tinge to the story of an hour, then you would have The Yellow Wallpaper. It has a darker edge to it, but the themes and some of the plot lines are very similar. All right, and we'll point out those similarities. All right. Now, for our home practice, what you are responsible for. Like I said, you're going to actively read The Yellow Wallpaper. You will find that on page 392 of our textbook. There are 3 commentaries. That's how deep this story is. That's how influential this story is. It has 3 commentaries. The first one is Why I Wrote the Yellow Wallpaper. That's written by Mrs. Gilman herself. You will find out exactly what her motivations were. And again, it goes toward the medical establishment, especially when it comes to mental health in women. You'll find that on page 907. And then there's the second commentary, Undergoing the Cure for Nervous Prostration. You'll find that on 908. Again, this is, I do believe, written by Mrs. Gilman in relation to tackling mental health and the way women were treated in this day and age. And then the third commentary, A Feminist Reading of Gilman's The Yellow Wallpaper, on page 904. So these commentaries are super short. They're not very long. So they will definitely help to give you a deeper foundation on what is really happening in this story, what is really being said. The discussion board with the 3 questions for The Yellow Wallpaper are also available to you. And the discussion board, the initial post is due September 19th. Don't forget to respond to at least 2 classmates. You will have a few days beyond the 19th to get those responses in. I'll give you up until Tuesday. Okay, make sure you respond to 2 classmates following the instructions as I lay them out on Blackboard. So be sure to navigate on over. You should be already in Blackboard anyway if you're watching this video. Just go ahead and get the writing assignment down. Put it in this folder, the week 4 folder, in its appropriate place. It says week 4 in-class writing. And then take on the discussion board. There's also a video called Women's Suffrage, or Women's Suffrage. That is about the fight for gender equality and the 19th Amendment. Women did not have the right to vote when this story, The Yellow Wallpaper and The Story of an Hour, were published, 1892 and 1894. So the fight to have women, give women the right to vote, would last up until about 1920, when the passage of the 19th Amendment became real. So that was a long fight. That's a lot of upheaval, a lot of ups and downs that the country as a whole had to go through to get to that point. Watch that video. It's about 4.5 minutes, and it will give you a good historical context for what women were going through and why stories like The Yellow Wallpaper were even necessary at all. You will get a deeper understanding there. So take that video in. All of these resources that I will leave for you guys week in and week out are there for your help. If you find yourself not understanding the story, ask yourself, am I reading the commentaries? Am I utilizing the resources? Utilize everything that is available to you, because you will need it, and we will take it further in discussion, and I'll kind of nudge you guys along when we are together in the virtual space. All right, my friends, that's all I have for you. If there are any questions, reach out to me, but I'll see you guys again next week in our next class. Take care.